If I had to describe my experience before Logos, it would be trapped.
Unhappy.
Crazy.
Unsupported.
I would say hell.
Sick. I would not be here if it was not for Logos School.
I am Kathy Fenger. I am the head of Logos School. I graduated from Logos in 1979, so I was in the first decade of the history of the school. Logos is a school for students that don't thrive in traditional school settings. We're the school that if the cookie cutter approach in education doesn't work for you, that's us. That doesn't mean something's wrong or you didn't do A, B, or C right. It just means that you needed a different style or format for thriving and growing in junior high and high school. And so I look at Logos as a school that offers opportunities for kids to find themselves when they've been struggling and be able to reach their goals.
I attended Logos for anger issues, depression, and social anxiety.
When I came to Logos, I was 13 and I was going through a really dark place. I live with Tourette's and OCD, which is like a lot to deal with to begin with. It ended up with me stopping going to school completely, and I was out of school for like 30 days, and then they offered for me to go to Logos.
Traditional school wasn't working for me. The classes were too rushed and I could never complete the homework, and I really needed the therapeutic support that Logos offered.
The way Logos was set up for therapy when I was a student here is pretty similar to the way it was set up for therapy now. Every student had a therapist, and they really were your go-to person. So I could go to them and talk about stuff going on at home, or stuff in my personal life, or stuff going on at school, or a problem in a class with a kid or a teacher.
If you needed help with a certain aspect of your life, or you needed advice, you had your peers and you had a therapist there to help you out.
If you needed it immediately, you just go to them and they come to you pretty well. It was pretty good on that.
To find that therapy could be involved in my schooling saved my life in so many ways, because there was not only anxiety about my academics, there was anxiety about my future, there was fear and depression of what I've been overcoming. To have that support along with academics is why I graduated with a 4.0.
They've helped with my anger issues. They've helped with a lot of things. They've helped me be a better person, I guess.
Part of what I really took away from my Logos experience is that there are a lot of people who are not like me and in different circumstances and situations. And I think I learned to appreciate that for what it was.
I just came into the school and I was worried it was going to be really crazy and judgy and everything, and I learned it wasn't, so I guess I would have just been myself from the beginning.
My transition out after Logos at first was a little bit difficult because, I had like all of these supports at Logos, like, they have so many, and then all of a sudden, all that was gone. But when I got to college, I figured out I was actually ready, and it actually worked out pretty well for me. Like, I made friends in college pretty quickly. I did well, moving into the dorms. Classes, I thought were going to be really difficult for me, but I found out, I was actually on target. So, college ended up being a really fun time for me, and it went fine.
When I graduated in 1979, I decided I was going to go to St. Louis University, and I went for nursing school. That was what I was originally going to do. I was completely unprepared for going from such a nurturing, comforting, small, loving environment to a university that still had nurturing and comforts and support along the way, but it was such a drastic culture shift that it was really tough for me. I hated it, so I left SLU after my first year. Then I switched to Webster University, and that felt right to me, and I stayed there for both undergrad and graduate school. But the transition was tough because Logos was so nurturing. Now at Logos, we have a whole transition department and a person, dedicated to whatever year you were in to start you to think about what life beyond the walls of Logos would look like. So I think we're not there yet, but we're doing a much better job about it.
It was at Logos where I learned that you can overcome anything, any trauma, if you have a good mindset and you know that there is light and darkness, because there's so much light and darkness. So that really helped me with my mindset and why I'm doing so well now.
I work as a counselor at a community mental health agency, so I get to do individual therapy and group therapy with adolescents and adults living with different kind of mental health challenges.
I am the senior system administrator for a company that manages and manufactures automobile maintenance systems.
I am a pre-K teacher at kindergarten.
The advice I would give to any student that's about to graduate from Logos and is nervous is that every person in the world that graduates from high school is nervous. Because you're in your 4th year of high school, you have figured out high school, and now what comes next is all new. And so it's natural to feel all of that fear and anxiety and what comes next. And you have the skills by being ready to graduate to manage that. You just have to remember to use that and not think that everything's going backwards again.
You dip a little bit and then you take different directions, and that leads you right where you're supposed to be.
It's alright to be scared. It's definitely a scary thing to do, graduate from high school. It's all new terrain, but just keep on going, you'll be fine.
Just remember that it's okay to mess up.
Probably my biggest advice is you are who you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with good people, only good can come from that. If you surround yourself with supportive people, you're gonna feel loved and supported. So support is huge.
To me now, looking back, to have been able to be here 28 years and now I'm leading the school that was instrumental, totally instrumental in turning my life around. To me, it's my legacy. You know, I feel like I got the gift through life's journey to be able to give back to the place that created who I was or helped create who I was. It feels so good to watch people who are amazing people find themselves and go on and do whatever it is that makes them happy in their life. And so to know that's what it did for me, and to be able to now help others find their ways through having the school for them feels great. It's probably my proudest moment.